All right, Eagle Nation, we have breaking news on top of breaking news on top of breaking news. That is right. Day 2 has been even more chaotic. The Eagles just made a huge splash. We will get into all of it right here coming up. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to A to Z Philly, your number one home for Eagles coverage. Hit the like button, subscribe. Be sure to hit the bell, all that good stuff here to stay up with the content. We have no time to waste. RB Schefter back yet again, bringing you the latest from the Linc, and moves are just going down left and right. I got the phone on standby yet again because I have a feeling the Eagles may not be done. Literally, as I went to get on here, boom, they make a splash. They make a huge splash. We are going to get into all of it and react essentially live here on the show. Before we do that, shout out to the sponsor of today's video, BetMGM. BetMGM allows you to enjoy all your favorite sports like never before. Sign up using code ATOZPA and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, and daily boosted odds specials. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. Find out why BetMGM is the king of sports books. Sign up today with bonus code ATOZPA. Get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Visit BetMGM.com. For terms and conditions, 21 years of age or older to wager. Pennsylvania only. New customer offer. Bonus bets expire 7 days from issuance. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, let's get right into it. I bet you didn't have a bet on this one today, but the Eagles get it done. What did I tell you at the conclusion of yesterday's show? I said, trust in Howie Roseman. Boom, he gets it done. James Bradberry is back. The latest nugget to fall literally minutes ago. He is re-signing with the Philadelphia Eagles for 3 years, $38 million total with 20 guaranteed. Also $6 million in incentives. And James Bradberry essentially takes a hometown discount to come back to Philadelphia where he loves to play. And as Jeff McClain here says on Twitter, the question now leads to, what do the Eagles do? Who's next? Is it CJ Gardner-Johnson? Is it big play Slay? Howie Roseman has some tricks up his sleeve, and we're going to talk about it more in a second, but I'm telling you, you have to trust, because Howie just saw his team get to the Super Bowl. He is not going to sit there and let nothing happen. All right, we'll get into more of it as we go. AJ Brown reacts to the news. He says, we needed that. You're right, AJ. The Eagles absolutely needed that news. Guys are dipping left and right. Another player left today, and that was Kyzir White. Kyzir White signs a 2-year deal with the Arizona Cardinals. The Eagles will now have 2 new starting linebackers in 2023. TJ Edwards left to the Bears yesterday. Kyzir White to the Cardinals. Okay, fine. People, freaking out, overreacting. Well, guess what? The Eagles got a huge chunk of their secondary back. Here's the quote from James Bradberry on why he returned to the Philadelphia Eagles per Josina Anderson. Quote, I went back because of the familiarity with the coaching staff, because I love this city and playing for the Eagles. They also gave me a deal around what I was looking for. Yes, there were other teams that offered me more, but I feel like Philly fit me the best. And if you remember days ago, we talked about how Bradberry essentially said, he was going to call the Eagles before he did anything else. He wanted to come back to Philadelphia. Well, it was true. James Bradberry wants to be back in this city with the team that was literally 1 quarter away from winning it all. He had his best season. It was absolutely fantastic. And he got to play with a guy like Darius Slay. So it definitely leads to the question of what will happen now. At the end of the day, maybe James Bradberry wants to finish that unfinished business on that putrid call in the 4th quarter of the Super Bowl. But I'm loving this, man. And shout out to Thomas Peterson here on Twitter. He kind of breaks it down. And think about this. James Bradberry returns on a $12.6 million per year deal, which doesn't even put him in the top 15 paid quarterbacks. In cornerbacks, excuse me. Remember what I said yesterday about other GMs negotiating with Howie Roseman? I would be terrified, all right? How the heck did he just get James Bradberry, who had a career year, who was one of the best in the league, part of the best defense, to come back on this type of deal? How? That's called persuasion. That's called being a smart GM. And getting guys to buy into the idea of winning. We said this weeks ago, right? Somebody would have to take a hometown discount. It wasn't Miles Sanders, which we'll talk about in a second. it was James Bradberry. And man, I love this guy. And I'm just going to say this right now. I said this a week or two ago. If the Eagles can somehow find a way to retain the secondary, now, CJ Gardner-Johnson is going to be interesting, right? Jesse Bates signed. If you could somehow find a way to bring them back, this is all you need. Now, Slay wants a contract extension. He might end up getting traded. You might have to draft a corner, bring another guy in. Okay, fine. I guess I can live with that. But you get Bradberry for the next 3 years. You get CJ Gardner-Johnson and maybe convince Slay to stay, how we can work some things out with the extension. Depending on what happens with that whole situation, it could get sticky. But Howie Roseman knows how to deal with these things. Everybody thought Bradberry was leaving. This is huge to get him back on this defense. If you can find a way to essentially, repair this secondary and keep them together now, you can find linebackers, okay? You have a plethora of D linemen on the come up. You find a way to keep the secondary together, man. This is an A-plus job by Howie Roseman. I'm so pumped. Here with the rankings 2022, James Bradberry, number 4 in yards per target, and he only allowed a 45% completion percentage, which was huge. He was 4th in pass breakups with 15. He was number 3 in passer rating allowed. This guy was unbelievable. The fact that the Eagles essentially got him for nothing after the Giants had cut him, and the way that he played, I knew he was going to be good. And for years and years, we suffered, through watching this lackluster corner play. And it was just so soothing to have Slay and Bradberry, to have that 1-2 combo, to have what I call the best duo cornerbacks in the league, right? I mean, you could put a couple others up there. I think Slay and Bradberry are the best. And if they can find a way to keep them together, like I said, this would be huge. Very excited to have Bradberry back. So Kyzir White leaves. And then the first breaking news of the day, which we didn't even get to talk about yet, the Eagles sign a running back. They signed Rashaad Penny, 27 years old, a former first-round pick who was with Seattle. And as Zach Berman says here, he has been productive when healthy. That's a big if, though. 5.7 yards per carry, over 6 yards per carry during the past 2 years. However, he has been limited due to injury. He only played 5 games last year, had about 350 rushing yards because he had a broken fibula. He hasn't played more than 10 games, I believe, in his career. So definitely a huge if, but you look at the Eagles offense, you look at the role, the Eagles wanted to take more of a discount option. They have, a committee back. They have Kenny Gainwell, who's still on a rookie contract. And in addition to that, they have even more big news. They get the giant killer back. Yes. Yes, I love me some Boston Scott. Only $2 million, 1-year deal. And, man, this guy always produces. So you have Gainwell, you have Boston Scott, you get a Rashaad Penny who could maybe be a little bit more of a power back. They might still go out and explore more options. They could draft somebody in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round or 7th round. You never know. But at the end of the day, they now have 3 backs on the roster. Penny probably won't have to have as much volume, and maybe that'll help in terms of limiting injury. Plus, he's playing behind one of, if not the best, offensive line in the league. Very good job by Howie Roseman. What does this mean, though? Unfortunately, Miles Sanders is gone. A little while after that news came out, he tweets, "To the city of Philadelphia, thank you from the bottom of my heart." Yeah, that's a wrap for Miles Sanders. 1,200 rushing yards, as we said weeks ago. This was going to be the hard one. Eagles are not paying him $10 million a year. It's just not what they believe in. It's not how their offense is going to run, especially when you have Jalen Hurts, who can run the football as well. So best of luck to Miles. It was nice watching him grow here over the 4 years and get drafted and, help this team out tremendously this year. I still think a lot of Eagle fans underrate him, but just for the price, the Eagles just could not get it done. It's part of the business that goes into it. Now, Kenny Gainwell also tweeted this out, saying that when life throws you a curveball and you're confused, remember God is still with you. God will never leave you or forsake you. It looks like Kenny Gainwell had kind of a mixed reaction. He saw the Eagles bring in another back and let Sanders go. Maybe this is him saying, all right, this is my opportunity, right? Maybe he's saying, I've been waiting, had some pretty good games in the playoffs. Now he's ready to go, but he's still going to have to fight for that RB1 position. We'll see how it goes. Also, here's a little more on Rashaad Penny. He played against the Eagles once in his career in 2019 when he opened the game as a backup and finished with 14 carries for 129 yards, including a 58-yard touchdown. That TD broke the game open in the 4th quarter. You might remember it. Remember this play? Remember that? Oh, my gosh. Was that Darby? Might have been one of the nickels. I forget, but I just remember, I swiftly remember this play, him just stiff arm and get out of my face. Look, if Rashaad Penny can stay healthy, this guy could be good. He could be good on this team, right? That's what the Eagles were trying to find, and it was much cheaper than going out and signing Miles Sanders to a multi-year extension, which Eagles usually don't do on their running backs that they draft, especially high up in the draft. So I essentially knew it was the time, but hopefully Penny can stay healthy. Howie Roseman, again, plugging and playing, trying to find these other cheap options. And you know what? This is what you got to do. This is what good GMs do. He's not making the same mistake, like I said yesterday. He's not making the same mistake that he did in 2018, right? The Kyzir Whites, the TJ Edwards, the Marcus Epps, they're all getting overpaid. Not that they don't deserve it. They absolutely deserve a payday. But for what the Eagles have right now, for what they would probably project them as before they went to the Super Bowl, they're getting overpaid because that's just how the market goes, right? It's that time they helped a team achieve great success. But Howie has draft picks. They're going to get comp picks for next year. They're going to get a lot of stuff, okay? And now they're plugging and playing. They just found a way, to get James Bradberry back. You keep the secondary together. This team is in really, really good shape. But now we wait and see. Will they bring CJ back, and will Slay want to stay with James Bradberry? We will break it all down as we go forward, man. But I'm pumped, and you should be too. Give me all your thoughts on these signings. Give me your reaction down below in the comment section. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. And with that being said, I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.